Hello and welcome. This presentation deals with very particular Antarctic ecosystems and the challenges posed by their conservation and protection. The Antarctic Treaty System has established a number of protected areas in order to protect different values. These are located along the whole continent, and particularly in the Antarctic Peninsula. One of such protected sites, which is Sierra Point and Offshore Islands, was so nominated in order to protect their outstanding plant and bird biodiversity according to the management plan. In this area, we have conducted limnological and phycological research, that is, research mainly on freshwater ecosystems over a number of years, and we have found that the landscape is very dynamic. The environments are connected by water fluxes, and there is a circulation of microbial and algal species which are in common among these particular environments. So this is how the environments look like. They consist mainly of running or stagnant waters, or even in the form of snow. And we came to the conclusion that these environments represent different wetland types. You may be familiar with the wetland term, mainly in relation to other ecosystems in other parts of the world. A working definition of wetlands was achieved in the National Wetland Inventory of Argentina, and they are defined as environments where the temporary or permanent presence of water causes that the biogeochemical fluxes are distinct from those of terrestrial and freshwater environments. That means they are not terrestrial ecosystem, they are not freshwater ecosystem, but they are very particular with unique ecological properties and are defined by their functioning in relation to the water fluxes. So these features make that globally wetlands are biodiversity hotspots, and they are key providers of nature goods and services. And this is the very same reason why they are also disappearing from the world at 3 times the rate of forests. Because of this, about 50 years ago, the Ramsar Convention was signed is an intergovernmental treaty which was signed of almost 90% of the countries of the UN. But to be, in order to be an intergovernmental treaty, it requires that the contracting national parties make sovereign management decisions on the designated areas for protection. And that's why Ramsar protected sites have been designated all over the world, even in tiny islands, but no in Antarctica. And that poses a problem. The last report of the Global Wetland Outlook as of 2 years ago has stated that the climate impacts to wetlands are happening faster than anticipated, and that Arctic and montane wetlands are the most at risk of degradation and loss. But we don't know what happens or what would happen with Antarctic wetlands, which are not included in this survey, but still they are submitted to the same climatic threats. Are they fragile? Are they endangered? We don't are even aware of them. an extensive literature survey showed that most research done so far in Antarctic wetlands has not conceptualized them as such. That it means that the defining features and hence the functioning has been misinterpreted, and so there's a failure to recognize the key ecosystem services that make them particularly valuable, even the Antarctic ones. As a result of this, Antarctic wetlands might be severely underestimated, both in extension and in their conservation value. So now we know that we have a conservation problem with these ecosystems, and that there is a governance impairment because they cannot be included in the Ramsar Convention. So what can we do to conserve Antarctic wetlands? No other solution than thinking outside the box. So what do we have up to now? What elements can we count on? Importantly, the Antarctic conservation biogeographic reasons have been adopted by the Resolution 3 as of 2017, and this is relevant because the first criterion of the Ramsar Convention for identifying wetlands of international importance includes those wetlands that are representative, rare, or unique types of a geographical region. So, under this criterion, at least one wetland in each ACBR would deserve a protection status. But then, what actions can we take within the ATS framework? Wetlands should be included among the ecosystem types that meriting designation of internationally managed auspices, and also already existing protected areas should identify encompass wetlands and revise their management plans accordingly. So that in that way we could arrive to an inventory of Antarctic wetlands, and then the next step would be aim for synergies with the Ramsar Convention. How could this be achieved? As of the last conference of contracted parties, the Ramsar Convention has fostered regional initiatives that could act in synergy with the Antarctic Treaty System, as they foster international cooperation within regions and involving relevant stakeholders who could be the Antarctic Treaty System parties. It also fosters the creation of regional cooperation networks that could be sought between the framework of the Scientific Committee of Antarctic Research. In this way, we could have a roadmap toward the protection of these key ecosystems, and also in this way obtaining not just an Antarctic for a better world, but a better world for the Antarctic. Thank you very much.